Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Metacast 36. I don't remember what episode we're on, but it's the one where we talk about the last 2 weeks of the season. My name is Dory K, and joining me are two members of Sun Leviathan that I'm sure absolutely everybody has wanted to hear from. Tooler, mid laner for Sun Leviathan, rocking the absolute unit of a profile picture, and Macro Beast, everyone's favorite memer. Hey, guys.
What's up?
I can't help but notice, but my name's wrong on the thing. I forgot the Plat Worlds.
Oh, Macro Beast from Plat Worlds? I don't think there's enough room. Just go with the assumption that people know exactly where you're from, buddy.
Yeah, I'm just that guy.
You that guy?
Yeah, I'm Himothy.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining me. This week we got a little bit different of an episode. That's why I'm glad I actually have an ADC, because we've got some content made by Scomps from Horizon that I'm sure after reading through you're excited. Tooler, did I actually give you the power rankings thing that he made?
I don't think so, no.
Macro Beast, do you mind sending it to him while we do this?
You didn't give it to me either.
Oh, I didn't?
All honesty,
oh, shiza.
In all honesty, it doesn't matter, just because it doesn't really matter what the rankings of ADCs are in his opinion, because ADC's opinions don't matter. So
we can just live react to this.
You can just live react to it as it comes up. Yeah.
Well,
all right, I'll send it just in case in the meantime. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do the normal progression here. So those were the standings on the screen. I always have them on the screen. You guys are in second behind Horizon. And here are the preseason power rankings. So this is what myself and the Krypton manager came up with at the beginning of the season. And aside from like a handful, like we put definitely NMU in second. So seeing like the bastardization of what's actually happened compared to what's on, like, where do you think we were in our headspace when we made these?
Completely correct in 10th place. I'll just,
Yeah, some things just never changed.
I mean, honestly, it's pretty accurate, other than Leviathan being 3. Like NMU obviously overhyped. But yeah, Horizon Gaming Zenith definitely deserves like a 1 to 2 spot on paper, and then I think 3 through 8 is correct for the most part. Other than like if you swap us with definitely NMU, I mean I'll say this about just the power rankings in general. I think number 3 through 8 during every week so far has been interchangeable. Like it's literally just been Horizon, us, and then everybody else, and then DRX. Like, yeah, it's really just anybody can beat anybody. So I don't think they're too bad, honestly.
You didn't actually include Raijin. Like every week we've kind of been shitting on Raijin, putting them 9th with Cafe DRX, and even one week we put them 10th instead of Cafe DRX. But that was my fault. I forgot that they beat the Clown Fiesta. I guess
you had that right on the preseason rankings.
Yeah, the Clown Fiesta I had really low. I thought that they were going to be exactly that. I thought they were going to flip games, which, to be fair, they have. But I thought they were going to flip games pretty often and then not really accomplish much else outside of that. But they've actually kind of been tearing through the league in the latter part of the season. And they're even going to be highlighted here and having to keep up that consistency for the last 2 weeks if they want to make playoffs without having to worry about the headache of wild cards and gauntlets and stuff. So yeah, with that being said, this is the preseason ones. This is the current power rankings that we've come up with. So working with the two of them, we've continued to keep Sun Leviathan at the top, and it's definitely not biased, I swear to God. It's just,
I mean, it's a little biased from me and Macro Beast, but that's just because like we think we can beat anybody. So
yeah, and I mean
we're pretty confident.
Horizon did recently drop a game to definitely NMU, and we've consistently seen them falling lower and lower and lower. They did take a series off OME, but the college team, like the 3 like college teams, are kind of their stonks are going down with DA Obsidian and Clown Fiesta like taking big wins, and Lotus is kind of in the same thing. They've kind of slipped out of their third place position. Why? I guess we think Lotus has fallen so far.
I think there's a few teams that have just seemed to have like the right schedule where they get some of the lower teams like in a row, so they streak a little bit and it makes them look good. And then when they hit some of the teams that are like the same caliber, they start to like fall down or look a little shakier. And I think Lotus had a pretty easy schedule on the first half that might have made them like be a little higher. I still think they're a good middle of the pack team. Like I'm not saying they're like down there with like Scarlet or anyone, but I think they had like a pretty good. I think they were like 5-0 off the rip, but they had like I think they had DRX and Rajan maybe early and stuff, so could have like inflated it a little bit.
For sure,
yeah,
I get that.
they did. They had let's see, they had Cafe, they had OME Outbreak, and then they had Scarlet Vengeance, and then they lost a game to DA Obsidian in week 4. So, and then they had Raijin in week 6. So yeah, they had like a pretty easy like first 6 weeks, I'd say, like a pretty mid-tier schedule.
Would you see them going up? How did they did take one game off of you guys? How did that come about? I guess I didn't get to see that series.
That was the one where we locked Lucian Nami, right? And then they locked Heimerdinger Ash, right? Like
well,
that's
the game that we lost, we explicitly said in draft that we were gonna draft a certain way, expecting them to do it, and then when they didn't pick it immediately, we still drafted that way, and it ended up costing us the game, and they switched it up. So, and then it was a pretty clean 2 games afterwards when we stopped just assuming things.
Yeah.
So would you say they have the benefit of being decent at draft despite maybe their play not being up to par lately?
Yeah. I honestly, most of the teams have like decent drafts, I'd say. Like I don't think there's a huge difference in drafts for the most part. But they're it's just when you like double pick Lucian Nami, like or not double pick, but when you slam Lucian Nami, right? Like you just pick your bot lane blind, like you're kind of just setting yourself up to just have 2 useless champions, because if those champions don't smash lane, they lose. And like I don't know if it's good drafting on their part so much as it is bad drafting on our part, but I mean they have answers for it, so it's a good sign that they have answers to the like one of the most meta bot lanes in the game.
I think another thing though that it's going to help teams do well, like going into this playoff part that we've got coming up here now that the season's wrapping up, is going to be champ pool, because with it being like so close to preseason and then like these big patches still coming out with the ADC buffs, like champs are going to change pretty quickly between what's strong and what isn't. And if you're only like a 1 trick or a 2 trick, like you might end up having trouble adjusting to what's strong right now. So I think the 1 tricks might start to have some trouble if the meta starts shifting up, but I think champ pool is gonna help out a lot.
That is true. If the meta starts shifting, good choice of words. Sorry. Anyways, Raijin Cafe DRX still at the bottom. Battle of the Trash Heap coming up soon. Neither of them have taken. Raijin's taken a series against Clown Fiesta, so we're gonna put an asterisk next to that. Clown Fiesta, I don't think is that bad, and I think that they've earned themselves a spot up in the top of the power rankings, despite being inherently pretty coin flip.
Yeah, I think the whole 3 through 7 section is, they could, depending on like their schedule and how they're looking, like almost any of them could be switched out in between. Maybe not like the 6 all the way up to 3, but like everybody can easily go up like 2 or 3 spots from where they're at right now, or down.
Except we're kind of in agreement that Scarlet Vengeance has fallen from grace. They appear to be like stuck at the bottom with Raijin and Cafe DRX, right?
Yeah, they do have a harder end of schedule, though. They've got like the opposite of the easy streak. They've got like the hard stretch.
Yeah,
I do think that like even like Scarlet Vengeance could take a game off of any of those other teams in there. Like could not just a game. I think they could take like a full series if like they were playing their best. But it's a pretty it's a pretty weighty middle of the pack, like in
Mhm.
Krypton this season. I feel like it really is just like 3 through 8 may as well just be like 3, and that's it. And then we have
Yeah.
like 5, 6, or 4, 5 for Raijin and Cafe.
I
Like,
believe Scarlet Vengeance is the team with Dumb Jungler, right? I get a couple of them confused. His name's literally Dumb Jungler. He's kind of been like
Dory's
the
calling
carry.
people out.
He's kind of been the carry of their team, to be completely honest. If
He
it's the
is.
team I'm remembering, yeah. So like the team is pretty like contingent on like how fed does Dumb Jungler get, and I guess the meta that's kind of evolved within Krypton has kind of been less jungler focused. I say that, and then Egg and Spies are kind of the crux of the top 2 teams, but it's kind of contrarian for me to say it that way. But a lot of the teams have like designated like Sejuani duty, Jarvan duty, whatever to their junglers, whereas people like Dumb Jungler, Spies, and Egg. Well, Egg is like the epitome of ganking jungler. He's like a Maokai one trick. Obviously, he plays more, but he's played Maokai every opportunity he's gotten. He kind of saw that trend coming before anyone else, and that's kind of what I think Horizon has a little bit ahead of you guys, is that he plays Maokai and he's willing to play Maokai, and Spies.
I mean,
does
I'm
not
willing to play the
that way.
Maokai.
You're gonna roll swap Spies and Macro Beast for a game.
Whoa.
Oh,
I'll
sorry,
play
you play a bot? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like champ pool issues are always going to come up whenever meta gets shifted, or when the meta shifts, like as much as it has been lately. Champ pool staying static is always going to be a bad thing, and it's something that like like we've had some struggles with, I'd say, but it's pretty ironed out at this point. Like the changes that have been coming recently are small enough that like small enough on the top side of the map that it doesn't really change our playstyle all too much, since we are like a top side centric team.
For sure. But yeah, that's not I think even like the differences between you guys too, and like your series actually was, I think Tyler was here, Macro Beast wasn't for the Horizon game.
I was
No,
here.
Macro Beast was here.
Spies
It
who
was
slept.
It was
Yeah, it was
Spies.
Spies.
Or was
who
it work? He was at work. Everyone says he slept through it.
Yeah, no, he was at work. Yeah,
he was at work. But yeah, then
And like,
you guys decided to like swap Todd jungle and then make Kopek play support.
yeah, and I mean, like in hindsight, probably could have had Kopek go jungle and it would have been more bearable. But like those
Well-
games, like it was a pretty handy 2-0 from them, right? Like I don't think they struggled all that much. But just playing like that series made me realize, like, if we have Spies, I don't think they take a game off us, honestly. Like,
The hard part too, that like I know every week that this podcast happens and like we're above Horizon and we always say, oh, it's because we didn't have our team. The other thing about that game though is that we drafted the first game assuming Spies was coming, and they even let us wait for him to show up, and he didn't. So we had drafted an entire team comp with people assuming they were playing different champions. So
that, and like I think from a draft perspective, like putting Spies on Echo makes sense, putting Todd on Echo doesn't. So that's where that came from. And then for some reason y'all locked in Nocturne. Like you have your support autofilled jungle. And he's like, nah, give me Nocturne. I'm gonna carry.
our silver support.
Or your silver support. Your silver jungler support.
Who's actually a jungle main. Yeah.
He's like, it's okay, I'll play Nocturne, guys. It's like, no, just shut the fuck up and play Sejuani. Like,
Right.
But yeah, I think that's all on the power rankings. I agree with you guys at this point. I think top 2 pretty clear, bottom 3 pretty clear. Everyone else I think is a crapshoot, and you guys will just have to prove me wrong yet again. I'm wrong all the time in these rankings. Every time I put someone high, they choke. So, and every time I put someone low, they overperform. Clown Fiesta, I put like 8th or 7th the week that they took a game off Horizon.
Nice.
So yeah, just hope that me putting you guys low means that you save your season. So Raijin Cafe DRX, we've got a little something about that. You guys have a chance. So we're going to skip individual power rankings this week. We're going to go straight into match of the week. We've got Clown Fiesta versus DA Obsidian. Keep in mind that for this, because we have no stream match in week 9, I'm doing an episode for week 8 and week 9 combined now. So between the last 2 weeks of the season, we think Clown Fiesta versus DA Obsidian is by far like the most important match in terms of where teams are going to be seeded for playoffs. yes, there's stuff about the gauntlet. Everybody except 10th place has a chance at making this gauntlet. But honestly, the playoff seeding matters more because, in my opinion, I don't know how you guys feel. In my opinion, the team that gets in through the gauntlet is just going to get smashed by whoever's third, anyways.
Yeah, probably.
My dark horse is Cafe DRX. They're gonna show up.
Yeah,
Cafe DRX, their first series win.
We
Their
let them
first
in on the
series win
tech.
will-
We played them with the hidden tech, and now they're gonna pull it out. They're gonna copy the best team.
I'm
We
excited to see
planted that
Cafe
seed.
DRX. I'm excited to see Cafe DRX just show up and play 5 Radiant Virtues.
Yeah.
Like Sun did it. It must be the tech, and it's like, nah, we were trolling. Anyways,
What?
so
No. It's a valid
yeah,
strat.
you think so?
Mm-hmm.
I'll
I
play
thought
it
of it
again. Watch
myself,
me.
so.
We the casters were having fun with it. TDS
broken.
and Niarchos were just like memeing it up the whole time. But
It's broken. Did you see? Did you see the last fight of that game?
yeah,
Spies ults in, procs his Radiant Virtue TM, kills like 2 people, and then our Zac support goes in, procs his Radiant Virtue TM, and Spies kills another 2 people, and then our Renekton goes in, pops his Radiant Virtue, and Spies kills the last person. That was 3 Radiant Virtues for a total of 27 seconds of the fucking passive on it being used. It's pretty fucking good. Like it's a pretty solid strategy.
so with takes like that, what makes you think 2-0 DA Obsidian next week?
I think DA Obsidian has been consistent in their wins. Like they've had a pretty easy last couple games. Like they played Cafe DRX, they played Lotus Ink Bullets, and then they played Raijin. So pretty like the Cafe or the not the Cafe, the Lotus Ink Bullets match in week 4. Pretty solid. Like they 2-0'd them like pretty convincingly. Like the stats like made it look like they did well too. I didn't actually watch the games or anything. And then like convincingly beat the bottom 2 teams. And I think if you're going to take anything away from games against just absolute like you know what's a nice way of saying it, just absolute like bottom feeders of teams, it's the way that you put them down, right? Like if you can convincingly like just shit all over them, then like it's a sign that you're a good team. If you can close out like pre 25, pre 30 minutes, like it's a sign that you're a pretty good team. And I mean they did that, so I think it's a sign that they're a pretty good team.
Nice. I think that's a solid reasoning. I disagree about the result just because I think Clown Fiesta stonks are at max, and I think Macro Beast is just high on whoever makes the game the most hectic. I'm sure you have a real reason.
Yeah.
But but my reasoning is just the Clown Fiesta is gone from flipping a coin to rolling a die, and 4 through 6 is success now instead of like 50-50. I just think the Clown Fiesta is like shored up a lot of their problems going into the later part of the season. And I'm hopeful that they keep it up. But at the same time, I very well could be wrong here because DA Obsidian does look good and they do look consistent.
I guess like if I had to change it, maybe like 2-1 DA Obsidian, but I still think they're just more consistent, and that if they show up, they like like on point, then they'll win. I think Clown Fiesta's too inconsistent for it to be.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think there is a lot of inconsistency. I gave the 2-0 though to Clown Fiesta, and then if we go through that PowerPoint, I'll get into it a little more. But I think they do have a strong bot lane in the sense that when they get rolling, they're pretty unstoppable. But I also think that they are probably the absolute worst bot lane I've ever played with when they start to fall behind. Like I don't think they can like stem any kind of bleeding at all if they fall behind. That being said, when they get ahead, they steamroll. But I think that if they can get rolling, that it's just a clean 2-0. But they can just as easily completely implode and lose a game as they can just completely steamroll. So I think the high and low, what's the word I'm looking for? Like gap of that team, like the high is so much higher that I can see a 2-0 happening. But if the wrong Clown Fiesta shows up, it could easily go the other way.
For sure. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. So make sure to catch that one in week 9. There's a chance that myself and the casters will choose a series to cast in week 9. However, it is not required and it's not on the schedule. But we are going to try to catch something that's exciting and has playoff ramifications. So if you want your series, casted, again, just reach out to me at DoryK8008 on Discord, and just give me like at least 24 hours notice before your match so that I can accommodate and ask the casters. It's all voluntary if we do it, so there's no guarantee, but do your best. Maybe we'll get you guys on stream more people on stream is better, because it lets us make better content like this, having like actual videos to go off of. Yeah, with that, we've got a lot of weekly predictions. Again, this is week 8 and week 9 we're covering, so we've already got a few matches that have completed. We have talked about 5 Radiant Virtues. Sun versus Cafe DRX unfortunately happened. As well as, what was that other match that happened week 8 already? I don't have it up on my screen. I've got the power ranking. I've got the ADC rankings on my screen.
It was Clown Fiesta versus OME was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was us versus Cafe DRX. Those were the two.
Was that 2-0 for Clown Fiesta?
Yep.
All right, cool. I haven't had a chance to look at the stats or like the post-game screenshots. Oh, wait, yes, I did. It was a stomp. It was pretty convincing. Granted, they took a long time to close the games out, but there was like no indicator that they were ever going to throw the games away. So it kind of looked like a typical Clown Fiesta win, just not as fast as I was expecting, I guess. Maybe they did find a little bit of consistency in their lives. Let's see.
Yeah, it was 2 30-minute games. Pretty. It's still not bad.
Yeah, like the gold graph kind of just like slowly skewed up for 30 minutes.
Pretty rough looking. Yeah.
But maybe they're just afraid of throwing games now. It is their namesake. With that being said, we got DA Obsidian 2-1 over Scarlet Vengeance. That's being generous. Scarlet Vengeance hasn't been looking good, but we think that like a stray good game from Dumb Jungler can give DA Obsidian a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's ever a time for Scarlet to actually like turn on the afterburners and like try to make a decent run, it'd be this game, and I think it'd be their best chance. That being said, I don't think they win.
Mm-hmm. The other prediction we put, guys, Raijin 2-1 Sun Leviathan. We think that Sun Leviathan, even though they're first in the power rankings, we think they're massive frauds. They're actually going to throw, and Raijin stocks all the way to the roof. They're going straight to the wild card. They're going through the gauntlet. They're going to playoffs. They're going to win. Right? Am I right? Is that accurate?
That was Macrobeast's prediction. Yes.
I'm just thinking after we do the 5-man Heartsteel comp and after we do another 5-man Radiant Virtue, are we gonna have another thing in the bag to like pull out the win if it's a 1-1 series at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know if 5 Gore Drinkers works.
We might have run out of tech. That's all I'm saying.
Just after that, we just do the 5 support comp tech. Just Moonstones, Lockets, and Evan Shrouds across the board.
Honestly,
so it could be close. Could go either way.
I was seeing your game 2 draft against Cafe DRX for like half a second. I thought you guys were unironically going to do 4 supports and a Hecarim.
You should have.
I expected a Yumi and a Nami. So the realistic prediction is 2-0 Sun Leviathan. If anyone couldn't catch on,
Sarcasm.
I'm being 100% serious.
Okay. And then Lotus still not looking great. We think Horizon's going to just overwhelm them 2-0. Do either of you think that Lotus takes a game?
No. I mean, they could, but no, I don't think it's likely whatsoever.
No.
Unless Horizon tries to do some Radiant Virtue comp, I don't think Lotus has a chance.
Yeah. And North Michigan, kind of floating under the radar is kind of like almost like at the bottom at this point, but they take like random series off people. Like they took 2-1 over OME, but definitely better than Cafe. It's always a safe prediction to say 2-0 versus Cafe DRX. Sorry guys. But I mean, NMU has had their moments where they're not looking super consistent. So like I could totally see Cafe DRX taking a random win, maybe if they're lucky. If they copy
the 5-man Radiant Virtue strat, it happens.
So yeah, you heard it here first, Cafe DRX. Try to do 5 Radiant Virtues. Maybe you'll win.
Honestly,
All right, and in all serious though, they did get first blood and a couple kills pretty early. They were struggling to put. If you ever watch Blue Lock, they couldn't put the puzzle pieces together. You know, they had the one piece. They couldn't
Israel.
They couldn't build it from zero.
they couldn't build from zero. They just they try to make a 3 from 0, and it just doesn't work. Yeah,
they're trying to work backwards.
Like, hey, we got first blood. What do we do now? Oh, we lose. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they've gotten off decent ganks. It just seems like a solo queue team that doesn't know what to do with their leads.
That might be a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah, like they're getting their leads, not keeping them. But yeah, week 9 for Clown Fiesta versus DA Obsidian. You already saw what we did. I put nothing because we all had slightly different opinions. Lotus Ink Bullets 2-1 versus definitely NMU. While Lotus has been on the downswing, so is definitely NMU. We think Lotus is going to realize that they need to turn on the hazards and go, or they're going to have a very hard time come playoffs. So I think definitely NMU, equally as desperate, could take a game, but I think Lotus just goes back to what they do and just takes a series win to get it out of the way.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really a whole lot more I can
No,
add to
good.
that.
Okay. And then OME Outbreak, Sun Leviathan. I put a 1 for OME Outbreak, typical Sun Leviathan game 2. I don't know what you guys are planning to do. You might meme a little bit too much.
Maokai ADC. We already talked about it, bro.
Yeah. Look out for that, OME.
I think the 2 games, because I agree, like 2-1 is just like way too safe of a bet when you're talking about us. So I think 2-1 makes sense. I think the 2 wins are going to be like 20, 25-minute stomps where we're like 10K ahead by the end of the game. And I think that 1 loss is just going to be an absolute scrap where we're playing some dumb shit like Kassadin support. And,
okay, if I see a TikTok of it, we're playing it. That's
if we see a Zir support, I'm gonna just like turn off the stream.
Yeah, I'm playing that ADC, bro.
Swap Todd mid, and then I'm gonna play support.
And then Scarlet Vengeance, unfortunately, drew the short straw in week 9. They have to play against Horizon. So Scarlet Vengeance, you guys look good for the first half of the season, and then you had to play against actual opponents. So I apologize. Dumb Jungler, your backpack's not big enough.
Yeah, I don't think they're like Horizon's just way too clean and consistent for Scarlet to even take a game off. I don't see it happening.
For sure.
Scarlet's gonna lose, go 0-4 the last half of this season, and that's gonna lead us into Cafe DRX making the gauntlet.
Yeah, you think Cafe DRX? We did not put predictions for this last one. Cafe DRX versus Raijin. I've got a video TBD. I am going to be reaching out to some of their players to ask them some questions. And I'm going to try to get a video of a battle for the trash heap made for Cafe DRX versus Raijin. So stay tuned. Hopefully by week 9, somewhere in week 9, I'll have it out. So
I'll make a whole ESPN 30 for 30 on it.
I mean, it's respectable that they keep showing up to games.
I mean, yeah, my team's in Helium's spirits are broken. We're like, nah, it's all right. We don't feel like showing up, guys. We'll show up at week 9.
As long as they get this far in the video, or somebody tells them that if all they have to do is win that week and they make Gauntlet, their hope could come back.
This is it. Week 9. You guys have to win 1 series all season, and you can make playoffs. 1 series, and then you just have random Gauntlet games you have to win. Like
you can make Gauntlet. I mean, you'll get knocked out at first round of Gauntlet, but hey,
they could. I mean, if they can, I don't know. Never mind. Cafe DRX is against definitely NMU. I think Cafe DRX realistically could make a swing at the Gauntlet if they do well against definitely NMU. If they get if they get 2-0 like we're expecting, then yeah, they're just going to lose the Gauntlet. But you know, one of these teams can make the Gauntlet, or will make the Gauntlet if Scarlet Vengeance go 0-4 like we expect them to.
That'd be very rough. That'd be so rough.
Be a fall from grace. They've been 4th in the power rankings the entire season up until now. Or until last week. So, Scarlet Vengeance, you guys need to get your shit together. There are 4 players on this team that need to play a little bit better. Because I think Dumb Jungler is really good, but I think he's got 2 seasons ago, there was a Xenon team called Sun Church that had a Diamond 2 jungler and then a bunch of players that got shit on all game.
My boy Buttered Chicken.
Our boy Buttered Chicken just could not take it. Mental boomed off the team. Sun Church couldn't win a series. poor chicken. But yeah, so that does it for our usual run of show. And for the last part, I know Tyler, you don't care, but try to pretend you care for this last bit.
I
This is
care.
what I'm here
I
for.
want to get my message out there. I think more ADCs need to hear it. I think more teams need to hear my message. I think it's an important message, and this is a good platform for me to get my message out.
Okay. Thank you for calling it a good platform. I'm used to this being just Dory, shut the fuck up and give us power rankings. But the power rankings are over. We're done with that part. Now it's ADC power rankings. Thank you, Scomps. Scomps reached out to me earlier in the week, and he decided that he wanted to make some content for the league. He is the ADC for Horizon Gaming Zenith, and he has his own opinions about where the ADCs in the league stand. So, you've both seen it now, so I can't really ask you for your predictions. But before I scroll, are either of you surprised by what he did? He didn't put himself in that, by the way. So you're gonna see 9 power rankings this time. Scomps kept himself out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think on it and all, like my opinion, the power rankings, like all for the ADCs, all the way up to like 1 through 3, are pretty accurate. And I think once you get to 1 through 3, it gets a little bit dicey. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think
What about you,
it's
Mr. Macrobeast?
It's a fraudulent list. I only care
think it's
about myself.
Yeah. And to be fair, his ranking of you was by playing against you when you had Kopek support.
Yeah, but Kopek's my boy.
Yeah.
I won't disrespect the boy Kopek. I did have a silver jungler, though, if you want to point fingers.
Anyways, nothing personal. He just wanted to make some content. Keep in mind, I made a disclaimer in the very first episode of Metacast 36 that these are my opinions alone, as well as the opinions of my guests. Please do not flame us if you disagree. Just have a nice, calm conversation about it in the banter chat. Make sure to use the flame. Make sure to tag Macrobeast. Heads up, this is my first time I'm ever making content of any kind, so it might be total dog shit. It's okay. We know it is, buddy. Don't worry about it. I've enjoyed the podcast a lot. Thank you. So I wanted to give making content a try. Nothing here is personal. It's just a fun list I made while I was bored at work. Well, here we go. Thank you very much, buddy. Not going to rate himself. Just a slide to talk about it. He heard OME saying he's good at laning, but he's an old man playing the game. I know that very well, turning 30 in a month. And number 9. I almost wanted to not give this to you guys so that I could have the champion portrait pop up and see if you guys could figure it out based on the portrait he chose. Because he chose what he thought was like the champion that encapsulates that person. Yeah. Anyways, number 9. We got Cafe DRX's Lammer.
That's some disrespect on my boy. He first blooded us, bro. So like, that's some stonks on his name.
Yeah. And he did actually say that Lammer was like a sleeper player. But like, I mean, he followed up on ganks against you guys. Like he was involved in first blood both games.
They did lose to Karma Zach bot lane though. So
they did get 2v2 killed against Karma Zach. Yes, that did happen.
After getting first blood as well. So
oh yeah, they got a gank and got first blood. So I just think that I personally think Lammer actually isn't the worst. I just think that his support is problematic.
I think that team has problems, but it might be more of a team play thing.
I think it's team wide. All right, maybe it is team wide. But then number 8, Caitlyn player. Everybody's a Caitlyn player, man. Patches.
The skins should scale with like the rank of the pick.
I mean, Resistance Caitlyn is a pretty low tier rank, low tier skin.
Yeah, but like not the Conqueror Varus.
Conqueror Varus.
Like, you should have picked like some pretty.
I'm not a fan.
I mean, there are worse Varus skins though. For 9th place, you're gonna put Conqueror Varus.
I guess that's fair. Anyways, number 8, Raijin Pulse.
I haven't played Raijin.
No, you guys haven't played Raijin.
We play him tonight, don't we?
You do, right after this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, you still got 45 minutes.
We got time.
But yeah, right after this podcast. Maybe I'll get it uploaded in time. We'll see. But Pulse, pretty average 80 carry. I do remember being pressured in lane when they have favorable matchups. Most likely won't 1v9 games, but they're not really consistent. And that seems to be the case. I feel like ADCs, once you get to a certain elo, most of them can click minions and not die. But like,
All right, would you say that, and this is just me throwing out a suggestion, would you say that ADC may or may not be a pretty plug and play role?
kinda. I mean, you need somebody who puts a lot of work into doing specifically that job. It's similar to junglers where like nobody else can do it. I think the soul
Right.
laners are more or less interchangeable. And I think
So
most
as
of
long
the
as you,
I'm sure I'm gonna get flack for this, but I think most of the roles can swap into support easily, to be honest.
I 100% agree with that. I
Yeah.
think if you play ADC and like that's your main role and you don't have a dog shit attitude, you can slot into most teams.
Yeah.
Most teams.
Yeah.
I think our team specifically takes a very special ADC, and we have a very, very special ADC in Macro Beast, so it works out.
From Plat Worlds, by the way.
From Plat Worlds, yeah. Not to be confused with Macro Beast from anything else.
Not to be confused with Macro Beast from the gray screen. But number 7,
not even a skin.
base Jin. Is that good? Base Jin?
That's Jin from the cinematic.
That's not
Wow.
even
Right,
that's not
not
even a
Rise,
splash art. And it's
Yeah,
Harmony.
a
So
call or something. Right?
Also have not played this team.
he's a Jin enjoyer. Harmony was a decent laning 80 carry, but had some issues. Played against 2 of their styles and poking all out. I personally don't really have much of an opinion on Harmony. I know neither of you did either. I thought that I think that his pool, while Jin, I think is going to be very strong with the 2 item spike. Have you tried the IE into double crit cloak thing yet?
I have not played Jin because Ash is freelo when new skins come out, so like the Lunar Empress Ash gotta be freelo.
True, they buff Ash or make Ash good right before it. But have either of you tried it with any champions?
I haven't, but I did try Hydra, Gale Force IE Gen mid, and that seems like, stonks on Gen mid are gonna rise pretty hard.
Like the Korean thing that was going on about a month ago, right? Where they were going like Hydra into Gale Force, or Hydra into Gale Force, or Hydra into Eclipse sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys remember like a month ago when Ravenous Hydra Zeri with IE second was meta?
Yeah.
No,
No, I don't.
No, I
That
don't.
was not a thing.
I definitely made it meta for an hour.
I remember you keep talking about Infinity Edge second after you buy Hydra. I remember that.
I love how you were talking about it, and then the patch notes come out that it's like, oh, by the way, we're making Infinity Edge only 40%. You're like, I was right.
Still not right. That's still not 40% CDR or 40% crit.
It still isn't. You can go Hydra, IE, and then 2 crit clocks.
Hey, maybe that's the play.
But I've been doing it on Caitlyn, IE double crit cloak, and then turn one of the crit cloaks into either your mythic, or if you're like not ahead, you can like go for a zeal item. Like, I don't know, point
Sounds
Saber.
bad.
Like,
sounds good. Sorry.
Yeah, but like Saber even brought it up. He's like, before mythic items, like Caitlyn was one of the best champions at just building IE and a zeal item. So like, why is it a problem now? I think it's because power creep. Like, I don't think it's as good as it was back when she was last meta, but I also think she's like kind of bonkers right now, regardless. So I think that as long as Ash stonks go up, Kate will be good.
The Kate mid poke is that those stonks have gone up to Hydra, Muramana, and then Berserkers into 3 crit items. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And we all know Todd's gonna
take my word for it.
Yeah. We all know Todd's gonna try Kate support. I'm sure he will. Sure, he'll insist on it.
I'm making him play ADC.
He won't shut the hell up about Heimer, and he wouldn't shut the hell up about Heimer's. So I'm sure at this point he's not going to shut the hell up about Heimer's counters, even though like nobody in Krypton plays it.
I don't think we've played against this guy either, have we?
Nope.
We haven't played
No,
Omi yet.
Yeah,
we haven't played Omi or Raijin.
Yeah, they're your last 2 matches. Yeah, number 6, IG Kaisa. Not my favorite Kaisa skin, but I mean, it looks like a Karen. All of the IG skins look like Karens, but you know.
Yeah, bro, I'd fuck a Karen, 100%.
Scarlet
Tori's
Vengeance.
worried about my takes.
I haven't played against Venan yet, but it looks like a solid player. You guys have. What do you think of Venan?
Let me check the list. What do you think, Tyler? Gotta find
I think most of the ADCs we've played against have been pretty mediocre, but I think that I don't even remember that series was really fucking. Was it close? It wasn't close. We shit on those guys, didn't we?
That's the team with Dumb Jungler. You guys won
Oh
2-1.
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
2-0.
okay, so
You did win 2-0, but Dumb Jungler almost won.
which week was it?
Last
it
week?
was week 6. It was week 6.
Week 6.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm way too far scrolled up. Oh, I see it. Okay. This guy went 2-10 and 1-5 against us. So
Ooh, gray screen.
as far as just ADCs go, I'd say what is this?
He died. He died to Melmo a lot too.
I don't know. This guy seems very prone to death.
Yeah, I think positioning is
And
a problem.
he died 10 times on Kate.
No, I personally would put this guy 9th.
To be fair, one of those games we had Jax, Amumu, Karthus, and fucking Kassadin, and he was playing Kaisa, and he went fucking Maw second. He went.
Oh no, this is the guy that did that.
Yeah,
No,
he's the guy who did.
Ninth.
He did. He
Ninth.
did fucking whatever the fucking true damage 3 auto.
I'd go 7 or 8. I'd go 7 or 8 with this guy.
Yeah.
If we're doing just AD alone, like if
80.
I'm going 10 and 3, I'll talk about myself when we get to myself. I'm not gonna make everybody's power rankings about me, but
Yeah.
if I'm popping off though, you have
Made a
issues
mistake.
down there in the bot lane.
Yeah,
that was number 5.
Oh god, that was fucking awful.
Rilla Tristana. Grape God. I personally am in the Church of Grape God. I think when NMU wins, it's because they give Grape God all the resources and he does fat damage. When they lose, Grape God looks absolutely goddamn useless. I don't know if you guys remember playing him. He's the Draven guy, or the only Draven guy that I've seen in the league at least.
We did not ban Draven. I don't think we did not. He played Jinx and went 1-5. Another game where I popped off, and I went 5-5 the other game. So I'd say yeah, probably middle of the pack. You know, he's not like inting like the 1-10 Kate, but if my silver support's going 0-1-15, also probably not a very strong bot lane.
He seems kind of flip. I agree. He seems kind of flippy. But like
definitely higher
like
than the other
he did
people so far.
like he was a big contributor to the one game when they took over Horizon. So like I'd say middle to higher middle is fine.
I'd say accurate. Yeah, this is the middle of the pack.
That was the series that I picked. By the way, this was before like all the changes that made Rise really good. That was the series I picked Rise, and everybody and like Macro Beast just wouldn't stop singing the song the entire. He's like, "Are you gonna like?" I'd like kill someone. He'd be like, "You rose to the occasion," or some shit like that.
All I'm saying is, if you don't prove yourself in Rise, what are you doing?
But yeah, that was Syndra, Rise. Yeah, no, he got fucking shafted every game, and their bot lane just seemed really, really weak overall.
This one, anyone probably could have guessed. Star Guardian Xayah. Anyone watching the video, pause it now and guess which ADC we're talking about. There's only 4 left.
Does somebody play Xayah?
There's only one person that's consistently played Xayah all season, and it's Daydream. It's Chelsea.
Oh, they didn't play Xayah against us.
You didn't?
Nope,
For
she
some
did
reason.
not.
They were smashing it. She's got to keep playing it though. Xayah's really good right now too.
Sivir, Ashe, and maybe they played Xayah the last game.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Xayah's really good right now too, though. Like I'd definitely do it. Xayah, OP. Yeah. Apparently, according to Scomps, he's never played against Daydream ever. She exposes weak bot lanes, and gets good CS numbers, so she's consistent at closing out leads. But if she gets a little overwhelmed by higher mechanical ADCs, she tends to flounder. Does that feel accurate?
I was incredibly high on CS every game. I think I was like 20 CS up So I know where I am in this ranking. So either I am criminally underrated, or Chelsea had a bad week against us, because I was like up like 20 CS. I'm pretty sure, like pretty consistently. Other than like we trolled that game 1 draft that we talked about, but I don't know. I think after this spot in the rankings, the other 3 are very gapped from the rest.
They did get Cassidin in game 2, so kind of on them.
Yeah, but I was solo killing as Ezreal that game.
Oh yeah, that was you're playing Ezreal into Sivir and you solo killed multiple times.
Yeah. So either it was a bad day, or from here on out there's a very large gap between the rest of the ADs and the bottom half.
And with that said, I think Macro Beast is kind of exposed that the next one is him, right? Number 3, the Lucian guy, the Arcane Shift into enemy team guy, the if it's a movement spell, it's going towards the bad guys guy.
I mean, what's the point of using it if it's not to go in?
So you can reposition and do more damage? Like, what do you mean?
I'd actually like to hear Macro Beast himself read this word for word.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read it. I have not read it yet. I know you told me where I was. I have not read anything.
He misspelled your name a couple
Macro
times.
Beast from Plat Worlds. Mr. Macro Beast from Plat Worlds. Ego so big, but motherfucker sank like the Titanic. I don't know where this is coming from, but guy was good at laning. But maybe if he worked on his micro instead of just focusing on macro, he would be a good ADC player. All jokes aside, they're a good player. No glaring mistakes with a solid laning and good champ pool. Very well-rounded and formidable opponent. Also played against him without his normal support, so could have had an even better showing with their actual bot lane. Mr. Plotworlds himself is not just hype. I appreciate that last part. I know the first half is jokes. That being said, okay, I'll give my opinion real quick on it, on myself. I think I'm being criminally underrated in the role, because when people think AD, they think bonkers damage numbers. But I think my strength lies in completely neutralizing any bot lane. Like, we've got some people coming up. They haven't been said, so we know that they're at least higher than me. Melmo averages like 9 kills a game, had 1 kill in the first game and 2 kills in the second game against us. Like, that's a whole 8 kills less than his average. You know, like, I think I'm very good at playing different styles, and I think that in itself is more valuable than just omega lull damage numbers. Maybe you want to put somebody like super high mechanically above me, but like, I don't think there's anybody in this division who you could really make an argument for that.
Yeah, I mean, when like the super high mechanics ADCs come to mind, I only think of Melmo and Grape God, to be honest.
Yeah, and I want you to play the clip when we get to a certain Melmo. I didn't get to play against Grape God.
That Melmo.
But because they switched, Grape God was top lane when we played them. But
all right, that was that game.
So I have played on competitive 5s teams on and off since 2017. So like I've been in the plat scene for a while. I had a stint where I was playing in diamond leagues. Like it's been a journey. And I can say without a doubt, Macro Beast is the second like ADC that I would want to have on my team the most. And the first is a dude who's now in Masters, so I literally can't play with the guy anymore. So like I have right now, I think the stat is like damage per minute at 30, and I'm number 1 in the league. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, it's because my bot lane plays weak side so well. Like, I wouldn't have nuts damage numbers if my bot side wasn't good at like neutralizing bot lanes, no matter how good they are. So like, I think like you're number 1 if we're counting like actual like impact on the game as an ADC, because that like the impact you have is a lot more like subtle than someone who's like, you know, getting fucking 20 kills a game and like 80,000 DPS. Like it's just, you know, like it's a lot more subtle, the impact that you have on the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not impossible to get an ADC ahead against us, but the amount of resources you have to commit for it to happen, it like tips the scale in our favor, just the way that we play the top side. You know, like you almost have to commit so much that you're just entirely sacking for us to win the way that we want to.
Yeah, I mean,
So it
yeah.
becomes pretty hard.
It
You know,
feels
and
like
I
a
can
case
still
like,
carry a game. It's just the team that we play with right now. It's just the easiest way to do it, and even mechanically better bot lanes don't get ahead against us. And I can prove who's the mechanical better ADC if you're going to play the clip when we get to the future picks here.
Can you DM me the clip again? I can't find it through the like pile of dog shit that you guys
it's
put in our chat.
production.
It's in production. That's why I was searching through
It's
your
the very
guys'
first thing in
fucking
production.
chat. All right, very first thing in production. I will make sure to pull it up here once we get to it. Anyways, yeah,
and this
I'm
is
kind of in
no
the same
flame
boat.
for the next person.
No flame for the next person.
Just flame on Scomps for his picks, but
but while I'm getting this browser, do that, it right there. I have to. Oh, it's probably playing a video. It's probably playing a thing. Hang on. Go full size. Neat. Put this up here. This and this. Sorry, I'm just getting the clip ready. That's my bad. I'm a bad producer. I'll make sure to resign after this season. My apologies, Krypton. I'll never return again.
Yeah, just on a side note, I love how you've got twitch.tv Metashift in the bottom left. When you stream the games on your own Twitch, you don't even let Metashift know that we were playing 5-man raid anniversary the other day.
No. Anyways. Number 2 is going to be a Nyla player. Caterpillar for now. DAG. I don't know. We don't know. We played them way too early in the season, and things did not go well.
He was the best player on this team when we played them, but he was playing top, I think, is what it was.
Oh, you guys played them during the role swap attempts, right?
Yeah, he was playing top lane on Ornn and like a couple other things, I think.
The dude's gonna be a butterfly pretty damn soon. I like that. Bit of a psycho running no flash Nyla. I think no flash Nyla is fine. I don't know what he's talking about. Camp's got 1 billion dashes and immunity and singularity, mobile, Oriana ult, sombrero the fuck out of him. Nyla's too good. I hate that not enough people play Nyla personally. Maybe not so much on this patch, but like all of preseason, Nyla was bonkers and her play rate was so low, and I don't get it. New champ too hard. My brain's too small to play it.
I think it just changes up the way the game has to be played, like way too much for any team to actually like pick it up unless they actively put like scrims and practice in on the champ and playing around it.
Yeah, it's sort of like Samira. Yeah, if only we had like somebody who really wanted to play Samira all season.
Yeah, I don't know. That champ's dog.
If only I didn't want to just constantly fight when my dash was up, regardless of whether or not it was winning.
This is winning. No, it's not. This is winning. Yeah,
fighting is winning his AD, bro. If you're not inflating the gold in the game, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. When you guys played them, it was probably rough. I think Caterpillar is good, and I'm inclined to believe Scomps here. Better than Macro Beast and Daydream. I don't know. I think I need to watch more of their more recent games to be sure. But like, I trust him.
I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. I mean, but I know what I think about compared to the next one, though. So
yeah. The next one's the number fucking 1. Melmo. This Melmo.
This Melmo apparently is higher than
this
me.
Melmo.
This Melmo right here apparently is higher than me. Melmo's the Ash. I don't play with nameplates, but
this
is my
this
POV.
Melmo.
This Melmo apparently is higher ranked than me, according to Scomps. Doesn't check the bush. Isn't looking.
He just
gets dashed out of the way by the ult here.
This Melmo.
Mechanically is better than me, I guess. But I'll see what he has to say on the PowerPoint. This Melmo, though, I guess.
That Melmo.
This one. That one.
Anyways,
apparently he's him.
The complete and utter bias of our production. Clown Fiesta Melmo. He says Melmo's totally cracked. Dude averaged damn near 10 CS per minute against Bravo and I. If his support hadn't ran down on him, game 1, the series might have been different. Very good mechanics. Super solid laning, good team fighting. Dude's number 1. I am actually kind of inclined to agree, meme aside. I think that he's like I think he's like Grape God if he was more consistent. I think that you, as you said earlier, you had a very unique situation where you can keep him from being a huge problem. And I think he needs to learn to play the game even because he kind of plays as if he's always ahead. And I feel like that's part of why they're so coin flippy, honestly. I don't know.
This I know Scomps isn't on the list. It'd probably be Scomps, Melmo, and I up top, like for the top 3. I think personally I'm better than Melmo. Just obviously a little biased there, but also, he did have 1 kill and 2 kills when we played him. But just looking off of their match history, though, like this is definitely of the ADCs in the league. This is the guy who's going to be the hard carry. And it's not necessarily how we play. So I guess if that's how you want to rank ADC, like I can see the argument. Not going to hate on it entirely, but this is definitely the guy who's going to be hard carrying this team if they're popping off. So, if we're going off of MVP, like because MVP is the guy who's most valuable to the team, I'd probably put Melmo as that, for this team. Definitely,
yeah. I'd
big
say
impact.
I'd say in terms of pure value, that's actually right. Like, I think that Scarlet Vengeance is jungler, hard carries his team. I think Melmo hard carries his team. That's about it. I
guess
think
more of top 3.
I guess the other teams are more well rounded. I think OME's top laner is like their hard carry.
I guess if we're going top 3, like I said, I'd probably have Scomps, Melmo, and I up there, and then depending on how you want to place them, just depends on what you want out of value from your bot lane.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's a good stopping point. Tuller, do you have any other thoughts on? I mean, you've said your thoughts on ADC as a role, but
I do have some thoughts.
Oh, you do?
Like to share.
All right.
I believe that this whole power ranking would be like turned on its head if every ADC in this league just stuck to Ashe, Varus, and Jhin. In my opinion, ADC is a role that doesn't need the hard carry because you have top, mid, and jungle that can all do the damage that ADCs do just a lot sooner than they can do it. So you get an ADC who's playing utility and knows how to weak side like Macro Beast, and it just unlocks the rest of your map to actually be useful champions pre 20 minutes. Now, once you hit 20 minutes, maybe like 25 and ADCs, third, fourth items or whatever are rolling in, like then the ADCs are champions and there's something to worry about. But like the average game time in our league isn't anything spectacular.
You don't think the IE changes are going to affect that at all?
You
don't think they're going to start doing damage more quickly now?
I think 2 items. Might. Yeah, I think 2 items ADCs hit hard. Like in general, like up until maybe this patch, I actually would have agreed with you.
I think any ADC, just getting away from specific power rankings now, but just ADC thoughts. Any ADC that has an ability to increase their attack speed as well as build Kraken and then Infinity Edge, is stonks are going to go up. Because you don't necessarily have to get a Zeal item if you've got an ability to increase your attack speed. And the 2 item like mini passive of Kraken giving you attack speed plus the IE buff for damage, I think can make an ADC start spiking pretty early in the game as far as DPS goes.
I agree. And I think Varus 2 items spikes pretty good. I think Jhin 2 items also spikes pretty fucking good. Ashe 2 items. Not as good as the others, but still pretty fucking good. So, to me, when I see an ADC pick those champs, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm about to pop off because I basically have 2 supports in the bot lane now for setup CC, for roams, for like dragon fights, like they can, like make a play or whatever. And I don't have to worry about like, oh, there goes my Zeri, accidentally pressed E over a wall and fucking went 3 screens away.
Dude, that happened once, or maybe twice.
There goes my fucking my Ezreal just eat into the enemy team and got immediately just fucking ass blasted.
Spoken like a true mid laner. Anyways, here's the standings one more time for everybody watching. Do you guys have anything you'd want to say as final parting words for the rest of the league going into the last weeks of the regular season?
I don't think we drop a game.
How do you
I
think
think
you do in playoffs?
DRX is going to be my boys, and they're going to win.
Think DRX? All right, we're cheering for DRX.
I have complete faith in DRX stonks. In fact, I would bet my house on them winning against Rajan.
All right. I'm sorry, Rajan.
Come playoffs. I'm not gonna say we won't drop a game in playoffs because we get pretty fucking wild sometimes. But I don't think we drop a series in playoffs.
As long as everyone shows up, make sure Spies has 3 alarms set and his boss knows to get the hell out of his business.
Yeah, his boss knows that he's gonna catch a right hook from fucking Tyler from Missouri if he keeps him.
But yeah, thank you guys for your time again. I appreciate it. Thank you everyone at Metashift who managed to get through an hour-long episode. And thank you, of course, to Scomps for making such a fun tier list for us to go over. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure you follow the Twitch channels, twitch.tv/MetashiftLeague to catch all of your regularly scheduled Krypton action. Twitch.tv/IamDoryK for anything that cannot make it onto the main channel. And
LOL Macro Beast.
LOL Macro Beast on Twitch as well. Whatever your Twitters are, whatever, ask them in the Discord chat. And I'll see you guys for the next episode coming soon.